Well, in a presidential race with so many unpredictable turns, we have yet another one. Mitt Romney just minutes ago lashing out at Donald Trump, unloading on the Donald in a way, quite frankly, we may never have seen coming from a party leader about a candidate who could very well be his party's nominee. Speaking at the University of Utah, Romney with some harsh words, urging his fellow Republicans to reject Donald Trump, warning that a Trump presidency would be disastrous for the nation. Watch.
Here's what I know. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University. He's playing the members of the American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat. His domestic policies would lead to recession. His foreign policies would make America and the world less safe. He has neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president, and his personal qualities would mean that America would cease to be a shining city on a hill.
Now, hours before the speech, when some of the details began to come out, they were released, Trump fired back at Romney.
Mitt Romney is a stiff. Mitt Romney will not get elected. Mitt Romney failed twice and really failed last time. He was going against a president that should have been beaten. The president was not doing well, and he should have been beaten. That should have been an easy election. The problem is nobody came out to vote for Mitt Romney, and I'm talking about Republicans. They didn't come out. I mean, it's well documented. I'm not just saying this.
Now, while all of that is going on, GOP control of Congress possibly on the line. Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan reportedly have a plan to deal with Trump that includes speaking up when he steps out of line. All this as a small but growing group of conservative leaders are calling for a third-party option. Eric, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts?
My thoughts were it's a very powerful speech. Mitt Romney holds a lot of weight for some reason still in the GOP establishment class, the D.C. elites. So delivering it was powerful. My question is, why now? I mean, if he really feels that way, why didn't he say this 3 months ago when it may have made a difference? I did some math on the 5 yesterday showing that this path, there's only one path to the nomination right now, and it's Donald Trump's path. I mean, Marco Rubio's path is almost completely closed down. Ted Cruz is doing well, but he doesn't really have a numerical path there unless Rubio drops out, and that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. The establishment doesn't want him to drop out. So Romney, great. The only thing I can think of right now, why now, is that maybe they hope that Rubio and Cruz stay in the race and they get all the way down to convention time, and Donald Trump has 1,236, not 1,237 delegates, and it goes to a brokered convention. And here comes Mitt Romney for his third shot at the title, and see if they can bring him in as the brokered GOP establishment candidate and give it a shot that way.
So splinter that vote to create that pathway for somebody else.
It's the only way to get there, the only way to keep Donald Trump out of it at this point. I mean, the numbers are just staggering going forward.
All right, but why Mitt Romney? Why a guy, Andrea, who's lost a couple of times in this race to the White House?
It's an excellent question. It doesn't make very much sense. I mean, look at how National Review did when they spoke up and tried to get Trump out of the race and lecture voters on how to vote. Was this a lecture? It didn't work so well. I thought it was. Look, Mitt Romney, smart guy, good family man. You got to give him that. But the wrong messenger. I mean, it's almost like a coach who lost the Super Bowl 42-0 and is now coming out telling the winning coach what plays to call. I mean, you look at his record in Massachusetts, and I want to take him to task on this because he hit Donald Trump in some key areas. Mitt Romney's a liberal. He used to be pro-choice. Jonathan Gruber, the man that called everybody stupid, wrote Romneycare and Obamacare. That was Mitt Romney's top 8. I don't know if he was at the speech today. I didn't see him in the audience. Also, he lectured Donald Trump on foreign policy. Yeah. Mitt Romney did not want to go after Osama bin Laden and said that we should attack Pakistan or ask Pakistan for permission before we attack. I mean, Harris, I could go on and on and on. Mitt Romney has no business lecturing voters on electability or conservatism. And I feel that voters right now look at him and tell his brand of conservatism to take it and shove it.
Okay, so you mentioned foreign policy and all of that. So did Mitt Romney. He talked specifically about the Islamic State savages. Watch that.
And then what he said about, and 60 Minutes, did you hear this? It was about Syria and ISIS, and it has to go down as the most ridiculous and dangerous idea of the entire campaign season. Let ISIS take out Assad, he said, and then we can pick up the remnants. Now think about that. Let the most dangerous terror organization the world has ever known take over an entire country? This recklessness is recklessness in the extreme.
There might be a little theme in the McCain household against Donald Trump, specifically where there's foreign policy. I've heard your father, Senator McCain, talk about it. What was your response to that?
Well, I think many people's biggest concern is the fact that Donald Trump has such nice things to say about Vladimir Putin. I want to just, I feel like it's awkward for me right now because obviously I'm the token establishment spawn sitting on the couch right now. According to a recent CNN poll, 48% of Republicans who do not already back Donald Trump say they would probably not or definitely not support him in November. I want to know what happens to Republicans like me, meaning I want to support the nominee. There's not a chance in holy Gila Bend, Arizona that I'm ever going to vote for Hillary Clinton. But at what point in time are the Republicans that are questioning Donald Trump, questioning his tactics, questioning his methods? At what point in time is he going to start reaching out? Because when you're a general candidate, when you're the nominee, you're representing all Republicans and you're speaking for all of us. And at what point is he maybe going to take a look and see that 48% is a big number?
Were you okay with Mitt Romney delivering that message? Was he, as Andrea said, not really the right messenger, or was he the right one?
I like Mitt Romney. I always have. I voted for him. I'm always a fan of his. I agree that this moment, I agree with you, Eric, he would have been a lot more helpful coming out and maybe endorsing Rubio or Cruz or whoever.
You'd rather see an endorsement.
Or himself. Throw your hat in the ring. If you want to be that emphatic about what a terrible choice Donald Trump is, then get back in, Mitt. I mean, the stage is still set for you.
I want to ask something very quickly, because I get asked this a lot. I host a radio show. I speak to a lot of young people. People are confused exactly what establishment means. So is D.C. establishment elite everyone except Donald Trump? Like, who is also a non-establishment
That's a good question for Donald Trump. One of the things that was talked about a lot was the economy. In fact, Mitt Romney started with, I'm not going to declare candidacy today. I'm not making that announcement. I'm not going to pick and endorse a candidate. But where he did go was on the economy and creation of jobs. And he hit Donald Trump in this way on being a bad businessman, something that Donald Trump has gotten a lot of credit for creating jobs. Let's watch that, and then I'll get your reaction.
But you say, wait. Isn't he a huge business success? Doesn't he know what he's talking about? No, he isn't. And no, he doesn't. Look, his bankruptcies have crushed small businesses and the men and women who work for them. He inherited his business. He didn't create it. And whatever happened to Trump Airlines? How about Trump University? And then there's Trump Magazine, and Trump Vodka, and Trump Steaks, and Trump Mortgage. A business genius he is not.
So to add to Andrew's point about him being a smart man, a family man, we all know Mitt Romney as a businessman and a successful businessman at that, and a savvy businessman. So he's trying to go after Trump where it hurts and where he has a lot of credibility. That being said, there's a big debate tonight, and we're all wondering how Trump is going to respond to this. We're monitoring his Twitter right now, and we know that he's very active on Twitter. I went on the air at 6 a.m. this morning. He had already sent out 4 tweets before then. So he has not responded to Mitt Romney's attacks yet. But Romney said in that speech a few moments ago, watch how he responds to my speech today. Will he talk about our policy differences, or will he attack me? Well, that's not really fair, is it? Because Mitt Romney just went after him with personal attacks.
Right.
He didn't just stick to policy attacks.
And if I were Donald Trump, I would roll the tape of Mitt Romney praising me in 2012 for being a job creator. And if you want to talk about, I think we have that tape.
Yeah, we do, and not just praising, but endorsing.
Yeah, let's
watch.
see it.
Trump has shown an extraordinary ability to understand how our economy works, to create jobs for the American people. He's done it here in Nevada. He's done it across the country. He understands that our economy is facing threats from abroad. I spent my life in the private sector, not quite as successful as this guy, but successful nonetheless. So I want to say thank you to Donald Trump for his endorsement. It means a great deal to me to have the endorsement of Mr. Trump. And thank you so much for your help and your endorsement today, and look forward to seeing you out on the trail. Thank you, Donald.
Donald Trump endorsing Mitt Romney and being thanked for being even a better businessman than Mitt Romney by Mitt Romney. Cue the videotape. Don't you always love videotape?
I know Ange wants to finish up, but this is exactly why the American people are so fed up with politics and politicians and the way D.C. has been run for the last 40 years, when 8 years ago Mitt Romney can say, hey, this man is a great businessman, he's a better businessman than I am, but now when the fire is at the front door and they're looking for a hose, they go back to what they forgot everything that brought them into the house in the first place and say, you know what, he's a terrible businessman. Donald Trump has some business, vodka that failed, or a college that failed. But that's America. How many people out there have tried a business that didn't work out? Thank God that the economy's strong enough that you can come back and get a job and do something else. Failing at vodka is not a thing. And by no means should we take anything away from Mitt Romney's business sense, which is spot on and has been fantastic.
It is, but Mitt Romney was a corporate raider who threw thousands out of work. That's where he was vulnerable in the 2012 election. So look, again, he's a smart man, but this showed bad character. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating. He has no credibility to speak on this. We've recently seen him with his shirt off in a boxing ring, so maybe this was all about getting his own press, which is typical D.C. establishment, self-promotion and self-celebration. But I look at this record, I mean, Harris, it is just astounding. Mitt Romney demanding the release of his taxes after what Harry Reid did to him, and it reinforces that Republican stereotype, rich white guy battling other rich white guy. It was so humiliating. He should just go away.
He doubled down on that.
And not just calling for Donald Trump to release his taxes, but specifically speaking about some of the things that you should be looking for.
Eric,
like, how would he know what's in his taxes?
I'm confused by that. He keeps saying there's a bombshell in his taxes. Just tell us what it is if you know it's there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that anyone knows. As Harry Reid didn't know if there was, accused Mitt Romney of a bombshell in his taxes, and there wasn't anything. There's no there. And Mitt Romney doing it. Look, I like Mitt Romney. I voted for Mitt Romney as well. I was behind Mitt Romney in 2000. Both times I was behind Mitt Romney. However, it's time to move on. The American people have said, we're done with you. It's just getting a little weird now. It's time for them to say, all right, it's time for a new breed.
Are you concerned? Are any of you concerned with what I just told you? 48% of Republicans who don't already back Trump, according to a CNN opinion research.
Do you know what the numbers have been this season so far? In 2016 versus 2008, the last time there was uncontested, there's in Super Tuesday, 60% increase in Republican turnout.
Sir?
30% drop in Democrat turnout. Across the board, Iowa, Nevada, New Hampshire, breaking records. Whatever's happening, you may not like it, but there's a grassroots movement that's bringing people who haven't been there on the GOP side.
Listen,
one problem when we're watching Mitt Romney.
Can I just respond? Really?
Go ahead.
But all I'm saying is there's splintering within the party right now. I understand the American people are speaking. I understand this man will more than likely, short of a nuclear war hitting the debate stage and everything.
Aren't they making it worse, Megan? They're spending all this time attacking their own. Why are they not focusing their attacks on Hillary Clinton?
I completely agree.
It was interesting. Mitt Romney, for a second, focused on the Clintons, and he said that they coined the phrase crony capitalism, that they embodied it, rather. So he did say just a little bit about this. But, as he was speaking today and basically turning on a friend who had given him money for his campaign, I mean, let's call this for what it is, all I could think about was what Trump said in the very beginning, that this is exactly what we would see. Because he had seen the flow of money, that when you flow money to people, to powerful people, eventually it comes out. And this is how it comes out, that there is somewhat of a betrayal. And why do it? What is in it for Mitt? Because, I mean, look,
he's trending on Twitter. He's gotten the most press he's received in years.
But I give him more credit than that. This is a man with integrity. So what is it? Is he going to announce, do you think?
Literally, based on the math,
I
don't think he can announce, but he can be the one that they pick to go in a broker convention situation.
But look at 20,000. I don't think that's the plan. I don't think that's the plan.
He's not going to do it.
I don't. He's not going to. But even if he did, Eric, the establishment fed us Mitt Romney last time, and you and I and others voted for him, even though we knew he wasn't a conservative. We got behind him. We said, we'll do this your way. He wouldn't go negative against Barack Obama. So he lost that election for a number of reasons. And now they're elevating him to tell us how to vote? It is
and
just
he's going negative
astounding.
against Donald Trump. Wouldn't go, and that's what we were just talking about, wouldn't go against the opposite party that he's running against, but would go against someone within his own.
There's a super PAC set up by Romney's senior advisor. I can't remember the name of it, but her name is Katie Packer. Also just joined by Tim Miller, who ran the Bush campaign, joining the super PAC. And the super PAC has one purpose. It's not to beat Hillary Clinton. It's to take down Donald Trump.
Well, imagine if they would turn that on the Democratic Party.
They can't, because this is a sick pit of professional political exploiters that make their money off of campaigns. Meghan McCain can attest to this specifically. All of these people, they're the same people that worked for her father, spent millions of dollars, and unfortunately ran her father's campaign into the ground. He was able to rise from the ashes and come back and win. They're the same people that worked for Rudy, the same people that worked for Bush, the same people that worked for Romney that have prevented Republicans from winning the White House. And the voters are sick and tired of having to support these candidates that are propped up by these people that make money to pad their own bank accounts. We're sick of it. A lot of people. And that's why they're getting behind Donald Trump. Yeah. Because you know what? He might not be a conservative, but at least he can fight. That's what the voters are saying, and win, and not be beholden to special interests.
Megan, tell me about that behind the scenes. That's interesting.
Andrea's right. We've had discussions about it on and off the record, just that there's a lot of people that work in politics. I think and we actually had a discussion about it on the 5. There's a lot of people who are working for Jeb's campaign. There's an incestuousness to Republican campaigns. A lot of people go from failed campaigns to failed campaigns to failed campaigns, make a lot of money doing it. I think Jeb Bush was completely ill-served by a lot of people that were around. I don't know enough about this super PAC. I think it's a big problem with how campaigns are run, and I think obviously Donald Trump has seen that he doesn't have to listen to all those so-called strategists and experts. I don't want to complicate this too much. I'm still worried about the 48% that don't support him.
I hear you on that. You know, the one time that I heard Romney talk about Senators Cruz, Rubio, and Governor John Kasich was when he said that they would be at one point better for the economy than Donald Trump. Other than that, I'm confused at how this helped anybody other than the establishment.
By the way,
and Mitt Romney.
Real quick, I said I would update. Donald Trump tweeted out just a little bit ago that he's on his way to see the great people of Maine, and he'll be landing in Portland in an hour or so.
I'm sure he'll have something to say, and we will cover
Every time they attack Trump supporters, calling them racist, calling them sexist, calling them bigots, they hurt themselves, and they only help Trump. They are insulting Republican voters, Mitt Romney, the establishment, every time they do it. It's foolish. It's embarrassing.
We will cover the news today as it happens. Boy, it has been a fiery one to start this hour.